This is another brief video just to kind of show you how else you can integrate, because you are going to come across problems, especially if you're in engineering or anywhere else where you're working them out and like this doesn't match anything. I've tried everything, all those strategies and techniques in the last section. Nothing is helping me. So there's two main. There is, of course, the table of integrals. And I'll show you where you can access yours in a second. And there's computer algebra systems. Which I believe many of you have been using to kind of check your work and everything. So this table of integrals, I'm going to pull it up in a minute and I'm going to show you exactly where it is. But suppose we came across an integral. I'll just do one, 0 to pi dx over 1 plus sine x dx. Okay, clearly this one's not going to be on the test because I'm not giving you the table of integrals for the test. I don't know why I wrote dx twice in that problem. Anyway, no matter what you do, yeah, there's no other method of solving this problem. So we talk about this table of integrals. The way you need to access your table is to, I'll show you first, go into your course, go into your Canvas course, click My Labs and Mastering, go to Open My Labs and Mastering, come over here and click eText Content. Do not, see if you open eText Context, don't go to any of these chapters here. What you want to do is pick one of these two, either the e-text that mirrors your textbook or the mobile and accessible e-text if you're on an iPad or your mobile device. I'm going to go ahead and click the one that mirrors my textbook, and I'll start from the beginning so you guys can see where I got this. And this is your exact textbook, of course. Let me pull the screen up a little bit so you can see. Hopefully I got more of it on the screen now. You want to come over here to these 4 lines, scroll all the way down, and you've got this thing all the way at the bottom called Table of Integrals. All right, let's take a look at our Table of Integrals. It is long. It is a couple pages. Maybe more than 2. Yep. I think that's it. Let's see if there's another one. Yeah, that's it. There's all other kinds of fun stuff back here as well. So you have 3 pages of tables of integrals. So if you kind of take a look at it, you'll recognize it. I can't post it. I can't print this because this is part of the textbook. All I do is get that big watermark on it. You can access your own. But if you try to print this out, again, you're going to get a watermark. I'll see if I can find a table that we can print, or I'll try to print it from my actual textbook. So, number 1, there's your power rule. Number 2, there's your ln, your cosine, your sine. You can see, you can start checking off all of the ones you already know how to do. These are your basic integrals. Okay, so, this is the kind of the stuff. Yeah, I expect you to know this kind of stuff for the test. Not all of them, but I do expect you to know your hyperbolics because we did a section on hyperbolics. As far as the inverse ones, the ones we talked about that are really helpful are like tan inverse and stuff. So we have more trigonometric. All right, you know a lot of those. So, hey, you're already like partway there. But then it goes into some more common. You know how to solve from section 8.3 using the trigonometry identities, the reduction formulas for like things like 38, 39, 40, 41. We have worked through a process to do that. So you don't have to memorize, of course. Here's more of general reduction formulas. Remember I said you can work through the process or you can memorize the reduction formula. That's all there. So you have all sorts of general rules. Some of these utilize the trig substitution process, but again, it's causing you to either memorize, which we're not going to do, or have this table in front of you. And it continues and continues and continues. Right? There's integrals for everything. Okay? 108 of them, actually, to be exact. So what does that mean? Let's go back to what I had here. So if I wanted to integrate, essentially, 1 over 1 plus sine x, I would need to go to my table. I believe it was on page 2. And I need to look over something that's very similar to 1 over 1 plus sine x, right? And what I find, there it is number 44, where I have dx over 1 plus sine ax. So go back to your problem. So this tells me I'm going to write what I found. This is what I found on my table, right? I found that the integral of 1 plus sine ax is equal to negative 1 over a tan pi over 4 minus ax over 2, of course, plus c. So all I need to do is identify, it's pretty easy to integrate. We are going to identify a. My a is 1. So my integral evaluates to, it's going to equal negative tan, right? Because it's negative 1 over 1, which is just negative tan, of pi over 4 minus ax, so just x, over 2, from 0 to pi. So negative tan so pi over 4 minus pi over 2 is actually negative pi over 4. So minus my negative tan of pi over 4 minus, when I plug in 0, 0, 2 is 0. Right? So yeah, well, I mean, once you just take it from the table, I think the hardest thing here is just dealing with all the negatives. So the angle negative 4 is going to be in quadrant 4, where tan is negative. And tan of pi over 4, that's your 45-degree angle. So opposite over adjacent is just 1. So it's negative 1. So it's minus negative 1, right? Negative negative is plus tan of pi over 4, which we just said is 1. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's it. One thing I want to say about those computer algebra systems is you just got to be careful. Like I said, you've been using them. We'll go over to our course for a second. Let me get over to our class in modules. If you haven't been using them, you can certainly use them to check your work. I just don't want you to get dependent on them, because when it comes time for a test, you're not going to have them. I've given you a couple. I've shown you the GeoGebra, and there's also the Wolfram Alpha. If you go to Wolfram Alpha, open that up. Wolfram Alpha has calculators for absolutely everything. You can click on, you got to be careful. Here's one, integrating x squared sine cubed x. Okay, it's not going to give you the steps, right? Here's what happens if you try for the steps. You are going to be asked to, go pro now. So you're going to have to pay a lot of money to get the steps. That's always fun. Sometimes they give you a couple of steps. So sometimes you'll get some steps. Here we go. Da, da, da. Oh, we might get them all in this one, right? We get lots of steps. Sometimes you get only so many steps, and then they say, well, now you got to pay to get all the steps. So a couple notes about show all steps. There we go. All right, so this one I gave you. Here it is. Yeah, they have other steps they leave out of it. I've seen ones where you have to pay money to get all the steps, so you just got to be careful. These integral calculators could actually end up giving you different, what appears to be different answers, but keep in mind they are not different answers. So that was the one. The other one that I use, why I like it for basic is, and I think I've used this in videos before, is the GeoGebra. This one you can actually download right to your computer. I had just got a new computer, so I don't have it downloaded. What I like about it, it doesn't rely on the internet. You can do the SAS calculator and just download it right to your, and it will do integrals. Like I said, this is the one you've seen me use before, but it also gives you the graph, which is kind of nice. So that one's a good one as well. They will not often, if they don't give you the same answers, because they're giving you different versions of the answer. We've seen that you could have an answer in hyperbolic functions that can then be changed into logarithmic. So some of them might do the hyperbolic, some might do the logarithmic. That doesn't mean they're not the same answer or they're giving you different ones. You just got to be careful with that. So again, just a short video. When you're going through the problems in the homework for section 8.7, you will need to pull up those. You're expected to pull them up. What's nice is I believe, wait, I have MathLab open. I believe MathLab assignments, here we go. It lets me access the basic assignments for 8.7. I know it looks like a lot of problems. Don't get too, a lot of these are quick, pick multiple choice. What would you use to solve this? This is all the integration problems. Let me find the ones that deal with 8.7. All right, that's 5. So let me go down a little bit. Yep, here you go. It allows you to pull up the integral tables right there while you're doing the MathLab problem. So, and it's just like, which expression is correct based on the table. So some of these are very quick, even though it looks like a lot of problems. All right. Get out of here, go back to where I was. So that's it for your 8.7, these other methods. You've already kind of been using the computer algebra systems along the way. And you do have access to a 108 integral table, okay?